something happening here, but what it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there, telling me I got to beware. I think it's time we stop.
As an aviator, I actually was the operations officer for our helicopter lift company. So we lifted people up, inserted them, and we pulled them back out. So we were not running supplies, but we were actually pulling people out and putting people into different areas. We were actually stationed in a place called I Corps. Vietnam was broken down into 4 core areas: I Corps, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. I Corps was the furthest north. The area that I worked in was an area from Da Nang north to the DMZ, from the Gulf of Tonkin to the Laotian border and beyond. I don't know whether you know about it yet, but when you're studying history of that period of time, you'll end up hearing about a thing called Hamburger Hill, which occurred in May of 1969 out in the Asha Valley. It's considered equivalent to Pork Chop Hill in Korea, and those kinds of historical events that are one of a kind. I was out there at the time in that Hamburger Hill situation. We were there when the whole thing started. We were there inserting people and taking fire in that. And then one time I even picked up a sailor that was recovered enough, and they asked me if I could take him back to his ship. And I said, do they have a helideck? And they said, yeah, he does. I said, fine. So I landed on the hospital ship, picked up the sailor. And they said, if you look out there about 11 o'clock, you can see the ship. And I looked out there, and yeah, it was a cruise of the USS Boston. And so I picked the sailor up and took off and went up the coast a little bit, and then swung out over the water and flew out to the ship. Contacted the ship and told them I was an Army helicopter and had one of the sailors on board bringing him back. I said, you got a helideck? The guy said, no. He said, you have a McGuire rig, which is one of those rigs that you hang over the side and tether them down. I said, no. He says, well, what are we going to do? I said, well, I'm out here looking at you. And I says, I could land on one of your turrets. He said, no, you can't, because we're having a gunfire mission, so you can't do that. And I said, well, you may have enough room on your aft end that I might be able to get close enough that hopefully you can jump out. If not, maybe I can get it on the back. I said, well, what are you doing speed-wise? And he said, well, to keep the platform stable, we're doing about 20 knots. And so I said, okay, I'm only going to do this once. Well, some people have pictures of this Army helicopter on the back of that USS Boston, because I put that helicopter on the back of that ship. And I was looking out through the chin bubble at the water, but I mean, I got it on there. And got the crewman off, and my crew chief said, when you go up, sir, go straight up, because our blade can't be missing that bulkhead by very much. Don't you worry about it, we're going to go straight up and out of here.
There's battle lines being drawn. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Young people speak in their minds are getting